In chapter 25, we discuss production and economic growth. Real GDP per person shows a living standard, and then it's different. The level of real GDP per person is widely different from country to country. Well, we'll discuss growth rate. Growth rate is how much real GDP per person grew in a certain year in percentage numbers. And this growth rate of real GDP is, in other words, many times we say economic growth. When we say economic growth, that means growth of real GDP. So each country shows differences in growth rates, well, depending on many different factors. Let's look at this table. This is from your textbook, the variety of growth experiences showing economic growth in the period from well, for the past about past 100 years or so, and showing real GDP per person year 2014, showing Brazil about $15,000 per person, Japan 37, and China $13,000, Mexico 16, like that, Germany, and then major economies like Germany, Canada, and the United States $55,000 in real GDP. It shows like that. UK shows about $39,000. What does this mean? What made these differences? That's the topic in this chapter 25. And this picture shows, these three pictures show how the standard of living are different, but depending on their income level, depending on their per person real GDP. UK shows $39,000, about $39,000 per person real GDP, having this kind of like as you look at the picture, this kind of living standard. And then Mexico having $16,000 per person, show this living standard. It's about it says 13 out of 1,000 children die before age 5. About 85% have access to modern sanitization. Among those of college age, 30% are enrolled. Well, these measurements are good standard, well, good measurement to measure the standard of living. Mali is underdeveloped country, having $1,500 of real GDP, showing this level of standard of living. So these three pictures show standard of living. Standard of living depends on per person income. Yeah, that is kind of what we always think about. Now, productivity is the quantity of goods and services produced from each unit of labor input. And productivity is so important because productivity is the key determinant, is a key determinant of economic growth and growth in living standard. What are the determinants? What are the factors determining the productivity of an economy? Well, these four are most important factors, but I could add in here a businessmanship. People should have some businessman mind, so that they have some kind of mind, pro business mind, and try to have new businesses and then improve the economy. So first of all, physical capital per worker, and then human capital per worker, natural resources per worker. The level of technology is important factors determining the productivity of an economy. Let's look at what's physical capital. This is a stock of equipment and structures used to produce goods and services. Stock of equipment means how many factories they have, how many production lines, what kind of good machines they have. That those tools, those are what we call stock of equipment, and the structures. Some efficient structures are important, and also social infrastructure is also very important for improving the productivity of an industry, such as railroad, interstate highways, or state highways. Those are all affecting productivity. Now, human capital is the knowledge and skills that workers have through education, training, and experiences. Yeah, it is very important. Because of good education, training, and experiences, workers can work better, produce better or more products. Natural resources is very important also. These are inputs into production of goods and services provided by nature, such as land, rivers, and minerals. Currently petroleum is very important, timber, even fresh water is very important for production activities. And technological knowledge, it means a society's understanding of the best ways to produce goods and services. Yeah, the level of technology really definitely affect the productivity. Now, how can an economy raise future productivity? Savings and investment is very important also. This because this is the resource for future investment. Saving is a resource for future investment. Invest more current resources in the production of capital. So, saving, and then the saved money is used to invest, okay, in a certain industry or new industries to produce goods and services, or to produce more wealth, more income in the future. So investment is key factor for future economy. And to invest in the future, we need to save current income. So there is a trade-off relationship between savings and current income, current consumption. If we consume too much, such as if you consume about 90% of your income currently, then savings is just 10%. That means you have less amount of money available for your future uses. For as a whole economy, if consumption is too high, current economies will be good. But savings is too low, then investment for future economy will be low. So there is a trade-off relationship between consumption and savings, and then savings to investment. If consumption is too much high, savings low, the investment will be low. And also the other way, if they save a lot, then consumption goes down, saving goes up, and then this money can be used for investment. It goes up, right? Well, this cutting current consumption and save more and to increase investment, these models are used by usually underdeveloped economies. Underdeveloped economies need this kind of policy. Cut consumption, save a lot, and investment for future economy. And then in the future, their productivity can go up. What are these investment mean? They can educate their kids well, the high technology, and then they will be a good engineers and good scientists, and then they can create new machines and tools, and then well, productivity of that economy can go up, so their income in the future will go up. That's the relation between consumption, saving, and investment. Yeah, as we just discussed, a higher savings rate means fewer resources used to make consumption goods. And then it has more resources for future capital goods, and then that will increase productivity, and then economic growth will be high. Economy will go up really high. So this is again, this is a policy usually for underdeveloped economies. Diminishing returns is means benefit from an extra unit of an input declines as the quantity of input increases. And in the long run, a higher savings rate means higher level of productivity and higher level of income. Look at this graph shows a diminishing returns. Let's say in this panel, vertical line shows output per worker. So productivity shows on the vertical line, and the horizontal line capital per worker. In general, as capital per worker goes up, output per worker goes up. So it's upward sloping curve. But capital worker amount of capital per worker goes up, output per worker goes up, but at decreasing rate. That is called diminishing returns. See here, by increasing this much of capital, such as let's say number of computers per worker increase like that, and then output level goes up like this at low level of capital per worker. But at this area, in this area, it is well, output per worker is pretty high, already high at this. So at this area, for the same increase of capital stock per worker, well, can increase output per worker only this much. This is decreasing, right? This much, it was this much, and now it is this much at higher level of productivity. So it goes up, but at decreasing rate. It increases only that much. Diminishing return. It is called diminishing returns. Diminishing returns. So there is a certain level we can increase capital stock per worker. Well, so it's not unlimited effect. With diminishing returns to capital. Education. Previously we discussed that saving is important to increase investment, to increase our future income. Here, education is, if we pick up one single factor to improve productivity, is education. Education is investment in human capital. Okay, through education, people can improve their knowledges or their technologies, their skills, right? So education is what we call in economics investment in human capital. By educating people, the society, the economy can improve technology, right? Can even overcome lacks of natural resources. Okay, so even if one country has no natural resource, has no iron ore, but by educating people, they can improve their productivity, and then they can import iron ore and then create well, higher priced products. There are some problems well found recently, well, for a long time in the past decade or more than a half century. Underdeveloped countries have problem, so-called brain drain. There are people, well-educated people in underdeveloped countries go to advanced economies and then trained. They want to stay there because the jobs in advanced economies, such as U.S. in the United States, they can well get a higher salary than that in their mother country. So they want to stay in the United States. They want to stay in European countries like that, and that is called brain drain from underdeveloped countries. That is a big problem for those underdeveloped countries. Those underdeveloped countries should have policies attracting those highly well-trained brain to their mother country to develop their economy.